Govardhana Parapite Bhuvana Mangala. Good evening, Dandavat Pranams to all of the devotees who are watching from the Seva Ashram Facebook page. My name is Vaidehi Devi dasi, and this is
Damodar.
And we are here in the Los Angeles temple under the shelter of Srila Bhakti Bimala Vadut Maharaj and Sri Sri Guru Gauranga Sundar Giridhari. And beautiful temple. The evening is very nice. The sun is just setting, and we, in the spirit of maintaining our spiritual practice, this evening wanted to share with you some kirtan. But before we begin, I just want to make sure, can everybody hear okay? We're using a different mic system today, and if you can hear, fine. If the sound is good, please give us some thumbs up or make some comment to let us know, so that we can proceed without being worried that it's not working. So can you hear us? Is everybody able to hear us clearly? And just welcoming whoever's coming on now. Welcome, Prabhu, Marco Bruno, Patricia, and Dandavat Madhav. Good, I'm glad the sound is working better. I've been using my ear pods usually, but you've heard the last two times they were kind of warbly, so we have this different mic system now. So I'm glad, thank you for the feedback, that it sounds well. So this evening, what's really in the forefront of my mind is just the importance of reducing nonsense talk, and the importance of engaging in the practice of kirtan, and how often it is the tongue that can get us into difficulties, entanglements, challenges, and sometimes, revealing your heart and your mind to the wrong persons. And so as I was thinking about these themes and these topics, I thought, everything can be adjusted and resolved when we take the time to go within, to meditate, and rather than being external and speaking and saying this and then more problems happening, the importance of taking the time to go within, to meditate, and to put our tongue where the money is. And the money is in the kirtan. The essence is in the chanting, and that is, on top of honoring prasadam, chanting and glorifying and taking the medicine is the best way to conquer the tongue. And so in the spirit of feeling the trials and tribulations of material existence and the quarrelsome energies and all the shifts that are happening in the world and the mission and all of the conversation about this and that and he said, she said, this, that, this party, that party, it makes me crazy. And so the best way for me to cleanse the mirror of the mind and cleanse my being from the spinning of the talk of the material energy and all of these things is kirtan. So I thought tonight, what better thing than to share a little bit of kirtan. And we have here Damodar Prabhu, who is a very nice mridanga player. And here in the temple, they have a very nice morning program and practicing, beginning the day in this way. And I know it's such a very nice way to begin our day and also a nice way to end our day. So as the sun is setting, we will do a little bit of chanting, and then once we do some kirtan here together, I will read a little something if we have some time, and this will be our class tonight. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask any questions in the comment section, and I will get to those once we finish with the kirtan. For now, please tune in and join us. We are using I don't know what edition this is. This book confuses me very much, but it is the yellow one, the yellow kirtan guide. And so if you have this Kirtan guide, we will be sharing the page numbers from here. And if you have a different version, 7th edition or whatever other edition, we'll tell you the name of the song. But we will begin with the Vandana. So here we go. Please tune in. And this is on page 7 in the yellow book. Deham Shri Guru Shri Yukta Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Scha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Ragunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitam Scha Om Agyanati Mirandasya Gyanagana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha
Vande Vaikuta Vritistam Paramapuranasphalam Vimalam Avadutakyam Govinda Kirim Shevayam Gosvaminam Sutirakyam Govinda Prishtamashaye Gauragakratam Nityam Shrikarapada Sevanam Pujya Shri Guru Varga Vandita Mahabhavataya Sadam Parva Parya Parampara Pracharita Praja Pramuta Kripeh Bhakti Nirmala Nijarasya Nibritam Sakraksham Sadaram Vande Shri Guru Deva Manata Shiracharya Nijam Gurva
Vishta Sugurakam Guru Ganera Shisha Sambhushitam Shintya Shintya Samasta Veda Nipunam Shri Rupapam Tanugam Vindapiram Jalam Bharatanam Bhakti Anvitam Sundaram Vande Vishwa Guruncha Divya Bhagavat Premno Hi Vijapadam Devam Divyatanam Suchanda Varanam Valarka Chalanchitam Sandrananda Puram Sareka Varanam Vairagya Vidyam Buddhim Shri Siddhanta Nidhim Subhakti Lasitam Saraswatanam Vadam Vande Tam Shivadam Mareka Sharanam Yasisharam Shridharam Shri Siddhanta Saraswati Vidito Buddhya Gurvanvaye Bhato Bhanuriva Prabhata Bhavane Yoga Sankirtanai Mayavadati Mingilo Daragatan Nudritya Jivani Man Krishna Prema Sudapti Gahana Sukham Pradat Prabhum Tam Vaje Namo Gaura Kishoraya Bhaktavaduta Murtaye Gaurangri Padma Bringaya Radha Bhavani Shevine Vande Bhakti Vinodam Shri Gaura Shakti Sarupakam Bhakti Shastradya Samrajam Radha Rasa Sudanidin Gaura Vraja Shrita Shesher Vaishnaver Vandya Vigraham Jagannatha Prabhum Vande Prematim Brida Vaishnavam Shakalpatayascha Kripa Sindhubhyacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratishe Namaha Jayatam Surato Pangor Mamamandam Tirgati Matsarva Swaparam Bojo Radha Madana Mohano Divya Vrindaranya Kalpadrumada Srimad Radha Gadasimha Sanasto Shri Gandharva Shri Lagovinda Devo Presta Divi Savyamano Smarami Mandrasar Sarandi Vamshivata Tatashita Karsham Venuswanya Kopi Gopinata Shri Estuna Vrinda Jaya Tulsi Devyaya Priyaya Keshivasita Krishna Bhakti Praidevi Satyavatyaya Namo Namaha Atanatva Mantra Gurun Gurun Bhagavatartadan Vyasan Jagat Gurun Natva Tato Jayamudiraye Jaya Suparikara Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharva Govinda Sundara Parapadmanam Jayastu And then Jaya Suparikara Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Sundar Giridhariju Parapadmanam Jayastu Sakala Vaishnava Parimura Namaskari Kichu Aparadna Hukamar Hoi Achan Hoi Van Prabhu Janto Bhaktajan Vandana Koriyami Sabaracharan Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay, now as we usually begin in, for example, the Sokel temple, traditional style of doing the evening program, we begin with a song to Guru. So first offering our respects to our Guru Dev. And so this song is Shri Guru Arati, and this is a song that is about and composed for Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj, and in the yellow book it is page 36. And if you are in a different book, you can go look for Shri Guru Arati or the first line to the song, which is Jaya Jaya Guru Dever, and then Arati Ujwala. So we will begin with this song. Okay. Do you want to sing? Later? Okay. Jaya Jaya Guru Dever Arati Ujwala Govardhana Parapite Bhuvana Mangala Shri Bhakti Sundara Deva Prabhu Shiromani Goswami Govinda Jaya Anande Rakani Goswami Govinda Jaya Anande Rakani Ajanulambita Bhuja Divya Kalevara Ananta Pratibha Bhara Divya Gunadara Ananta Pratibha Bhara Divya Gunadara Gaura Krishna Jani Tava Abhina Swarupa Samsara Dharite Be Shuddha Bhakta Rupa Samsara Dharite Be Shuddha Bhakta Rupa Drupanugadara Tumi Karo Alokita Prabhakara Sama Prabha Bhuvana Vidita Prabhakara Sama Prabha Bhuvana Vidita Shuddha Bhakti Pracharite Purita Vishwabasi Labe Prema Jana Anande Nachiya Gahe Tava Gunagana Nachiya Gahe Tava Gunagana Stabilaya Shrama Bahu Jagata Majare Paramahamsa Dharma Dhyana Shikara Prachare Chintya Chintya Viragyane Tumi Adhikari Sakala Samshaya Chitva Sushidantadari Tomara Mahima Gahe Goloka Mandale Nitya Siddha Parikare Tava Lila Sale Patita Pavana Tumi Doya Rasamira Sarva Karye Sunipuna Satya Sugambira Apurvale Kanidara Pragada Panditya Sarahasya Mishtabhashi Sushila Kavitva Sadhu Sanghe Saranandi Sarala Vinayi Sabha Madhye Vakashresa Sarvatra Vijayi Gauriya Gagane Tumi Acharya Bhaskara Acharya Bhaskara Nirantara Seva Priya Mishta Kanta Swara Tomara Karuna Magetri Kala Vilase Gandharvika Giridhari Seva Matrayashe Kripa Karo He Prabhu Shri Gaura Prakasha Arati Karo Ye Sara Eya Damodasa Kripa Karo He Prabhu Shri Gaura Prakasha Arati Karo Ye Sara Shri Govinda Dasa Arati Karo Ye Sara Shri Govinda Jaya Guru Deva 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 Jai Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. I was thinking to read the translation. It's just such a beautiful description of Gurudev. And again, you know, he's here still with us, and taking shelter of him is one of the best things that we can do. And so this song is really something that you can come to over and over again and take shelter of it, and just even remembering His mood, his glories is very special. If you got to meet him, you know. And if you didn't get to meet him, you will get to know by learning this song and understanding this message. So the verse 1 is, all glories to the effulgent Arati of Sri Gurudev, which is going on at the foot of Govardhan, benefiting the whole world. All glories to Sri Bhakti Sundar Govinda Goswami, who is our supreme master and is like a reservoir of joy. His graceful long hands touch his knees, and his body is beautiful and transcendental. He is an ocean of infinite genius and transcendental qualities. We consider your real identity to be non-different from Krishna and Gauranga. But now, to deliver this material world, you have assumed the form of a pure devotee. You are brightening the line of the followers of Srila Rupa Goswami. Your effulgence, which is comparable to that of the sun, is known throughout the whole world. There is no one like you to preach pure devotion. You are the spotless moon, and you are merciful, like Lord Nityananda. As ecstatic people all over the world are attaining the treasure of love of Krishna, they are dancing and singing your glories. To teach the essence of the highest knowledge and to preach it to all, you have established many ashrams all over the world. You have mastery over the knowledge of the Vedas, both conceivable and inconceivable. You are the treasurer of bona fide conclusions, which can destroy all doubt. Your glories are being sung in the spiritual world of Goloka, the realm of your pastimes, by your servants, who are eternally liberated. To deliver the fallen souls, you are like a breeze of mercy. You are expert in all service, and you are established in truth and gravity. And I do want to say something about this line because it's so true. He really is like a breeze of mercy. I remember spending some time on the roof in India. I would go to the roof and hang out all the time. And I would meditate, I would listen to music, I would stretch, I would write. And sometimes on the roof I would write my scripts. And very often this like wave of this like breeze would come, and the smell of his clothing and his room would just kind of like come through the atmosphere. And I could feel this just very beautiful presence. So this is, you know, a poetic expression, but I also remember experiencing that, sitting there with him. Or not, well, yes, sitting there with him actually in meditation. And you are expert in all service. This, you know, like Srila Acharya Maharaj exemplified this mood, right? He following in his footsteps. He's expert in all services. He knows how to cook, he knows how to sing, he can play mridanga, he can speak, he can do construction, he can do so many different services. He can help, you know, manage the temples, take care of the devotees. And so such a wonderful example for us to also learn to become expert in what is service, and not just the action of doing this or doing that, because that's a little external maybe, my description, but even deeper than that. What is service, and how can we come with this mood of really being in service? It's more than just an action. And I will tell you that, like because to be so expert in service requires full senses, full commands, full reflexes, full knowledge, full experience. And I saw that in him over and over again. And he is established in truth and gravity, always speaking the truth, even if the truth is unpleasant to others, even if the truth is difficult, right? He is just firm with what is truth and how he is speaking that in truth and in gravity, and always equipoised. And sure, sometimes he would, you know, show some anger or show some strong energy, but this was also to maybe teach us something, or to remind us that, you know, you can't just get away with everything, right? He has to kind of come in sometimes like a father figure. So, your beautiful and unprecedented writing reflects your deep scholarship. You are always smiling and speaking sweet words, which remind one of your soothing poetry. So Gurudev he came from a family, a lineage of professional singers. And, you know, when you hear the way he speaks, it's so musical. And when he sings, he like carries the rhythm in his voice, in his song. So his writing and his speaking is very poetic and it's very profound. And if you listen to his lectures and if you read his books and hear his voice and hear him singing, you will experience this verse right here, number 12. Verse 13, you are always straightforward and humble, and you are always joyful in the association of pure devotees. I do also want to speak to that because sometimes, you know, people are like so intellectual and such pure devotees, and they're so philosophical and complicated, to be honest. And Gurudev is very like simple and straightforward. I have seen him many times, you know, somebody maybe, I don't have a particular person in mind, but so many occasions, like somebody comes in with this like complicated mind and question and situation, and he's just like simple, clear, direct answer. Sometimes even like very funny the way he would just like crack the code or like dismiss the confusion, and just very simple. Like Srila Prabhupada also was very much like this. So I really always appreciated that. And very humble, like he's sincerely expressing, not with anger or condescending or, you know, any judgmental, but just very humble and truthful and very simple mood in his presentation and speaking. Same verse, in a spiritual gathering, you are always the best speaker. In every field of life, you always come out victorious. In the sky of the Gaudiya Vaishnav world, you are a preceptor who is prominent like the sun. You are always fond of service, and your sweet voice inspires others to do service also. Past, present, and future, for all eternity, we beg your mercy. Only by your mercy will one receive devotional service to Sri Sri Gandharvika Giridhari. O my Lord, who is the manifestation of the mercy of Sri Gauranga, please be merciful to me. This insignificant servant of yours is always praying this way while worshiping you. And it says, Aroti Koroya Sara Eya Dhamma Dasa. So talking about always doing this prayer while serving you. And then sometimes in Navadvip they would say, Aroti Koroya Sara Sri Govinda Dasa. So servant of Sri Govinda. So sometimes repeating this line, Sri Govinda Das. Okay, so beautiful. I already feel better just reading this. This line, spotless like the moon, cooling like the moon. Okay. Next song. Which one? Okay. Wait, let's find the page number. Okay, so in the yellow book, it's page 78. Ohe Vaishnava Thakura, or Sri Vaishnava Mahima Giti. You can find it that way.
Ohe Vaishnava Thakura, Dwera Sagara, Edase Karuna Kori.
Ohe Vaishnava Thakura, Dwera Sagara, Edase Karuna Kori.
Diya Pada Jaya, Shokoke Amare. Satsanga dekho ke amare, dosishki sange rashe, ekaki amara nahi paya bolo, Harinam Sankirtan. Mangala Krishna Krishna bole. Gaita Vapashke Pashke.
Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki
Jai.
jai. Should I read the translation or do you
Sure.
want to read? No? Okay. Can read. So this song, such a beautiful invocation to the Vaishnavas, and I know most of you are familiar with these songs, but nevertheless, so important to come back to them over and over again. So reading the translation, O my Lord, O Vaishnav, ocean of grace, kindly be gracious to this servitor. Bestow the shade of your holy feet. Purify me. I clasp your holy lotus feet. Subjugate the 6 urges. Rectify the 6 defects. Bestow the 6 good qualities upon this servitor. Please grant me the 6 kinds of saintly association. I sit at your feet, aspiring for that association. So, excuse me, there's a footnote here talking about what are the 6 urges, the 6 defects, and the 6 good qualities, and the 6 kinds of saintly association. So I think these would be great flashcards because they're really good to memorize and to understand. Like a checks and balances system for checking on our spiritual, mental, emotional health is keeping track of and understanding what are these urges, what are these defects, what are these things that we can help to maintain and keep in check. Like the car, right? We've had all these car dramas recently. Like you want to keep the engine, the oil, the wheels, like everything needs to be maintained. So in this way, it's important to maintain these different aspects of our vehicle or a vessel. So the 6 urges are those of speech, the mind, anger, the tongue, the belly, and the genitals. And we know that this line is known as this drishti, right? In yoga, we understand like if one goes out of whack, the other ones go out of whack, and especially the link between the tongue and the genitals, right? This is, you can lose control so easily. That's why we honor prasadam. That's why we chant, to conquer the tongue and to keep ourselves in check, not being led astray by the different horses, if you will, of the senses. So 6 urges, those of speech, right? Watch yourself with your speech. The mind, what's going on in that mind? What is the script that you're running all the time? Anger, do you have random outbursts and explosive anger moments? Watch yourself, right? How can you cool that down? And then the tongue, what are we doing with our speech, with our tongue, with what we're consuming and eating? The belly and the genitals. And yesterday we were at the Domes having this nice program, sharing some presentation and kirtan, and one very nice devotee from one of our friends from the ISKCON temple, she was just sharing with the group as we were all talking at the end about the different gunas, and I really liked the way she described it. And she was saying, you know, like when you're in this human form, in this material form, these gunas are kind of displaying how deeply you are engrossed in material energy. And you know, I've read these things, but the way she described it kind of lit a new idea or perspective for me. And you know, the mode of ignorance is where you're kind of the most dense and heavily influenced by the dictates of the, you know, senses and all of these things, and the mode of passion. And then the mode of goodness is kind of, you know, still material, but closest to the quality of the soul. So I really liked the way she explained that. So these are important things to kind of check on. Someone was speaking, maybe it was Gopakishore, about how one of the practices of the Buddhist monks is, you know, at the end of the day, they check in with themselves and they like ask themselves, how was my day? What did I do? How could I have done this better? Or where did I maybe step out of line? Or what did I do well? So kind of self-reflection, and these are some of the checkpoints, if you will. And then the 6 faults: overeating, collecting more monetary funds than required, over-endeavoring for material objectives, unnecessary talking about mundane affairs, being too attached or too neglectful of scriptural rules and regulations. Again, too attached. So if you're a fanatic, that is showing us that there's something out of balance. And if you're too neglectful, also something out of balance. Obviously no judgment, right? But just a system for us to check ourselves. And I remember thinking about this when I was like younger. Oh, I'm being judgmental about this person doing this thing. That means that I still have some attachment to that. And I remember checking myself, right? Because I would read these things and reflect on them. And so if you're too attached or too neglectful or feeling some judgment, then self-reflection can be helpful in understanding, like, where is this coming from? So too attached or too neglectful of scriptural rules and regulations, associating with worldly-minded persons, and lusting after mundane achievements. And that can be challenging if you're ambitious or career-driven and you have goals, but it's also not challenging because, you know, we wear tulsi around our neck for what? Because this body is a temple of the Lord, so ideally our actions and activities we are also offering up. So when we can offer even our achievements, our things that we're striving for to the Lord, consciously offering and offering the results, then we can kind of a little bit free ourselves from this concept of being lusty over mundane achievements. If we have mundane achievements, yet we're offering them to the Lord, then hopefully something is mitigated. But I always like to remember that. It's not saying don't have achievements, don't have goals, but rather offer those and don't just be after the result. And then the 6 good qualities: enthusiasm, patience, confidence, determination to perform activities favorable to devotional service, the resolution to abandon the association of non-devotees, and the discipline required to always follow in the footsteps of the predecessor acharyas. And, you know, like sometimes when we're beginners, we have this like pure devotee syndrome where we think we're like making some progress and we're so pure and everybody else is not, because look, they're not following the drain inspection, right? So being mindful not to have this pure devotee syndrome and to pay so much attention to, oh, they're not doing, she's doing this, he's doing that, he's not doing, right? And very important to not entangle ourselves in this kind of judgment, but rather focusing on ourselves. How can we develop these 6 good qualities of enthusiasm, patience, confidence, determination to perform activities favorable to devotional service, the resolution to abandon the association of non-devotees, and the discipline required to always follow in the footsteps of the predecessor acharyas. I'm so glad you picked this song. And then the 6 kinds of saintly association: offering gifts in charity, accepting charitable gifts, revealing one's mind in confidence, inquiring confidentially, accepting prasadam, and offering prasadam. Sometimes you offer prasadam and someone's like, no, I'm good. And it's like, just one drop. So always, you know, even if it's just one drop, honoring and accepting and also offering. Such a nice reminder. And then the song continues, on my own I have no strength to chant the holy name in congregation. Kindly be pleased to bestow a drop of faith in my heart, giving me the treasure of Lord Krishna's name. Bindu means drop. Shraddha, faith. Shraddha bindu diya, give. Shraddha bindu diya. And then Krishna is yours, you can give him. You have the power to do so. I who am bereft, calling Krishna, Krishna, am running desperately behind you. If only we had this mood, right? Running desperately behind our acharyas. we have this blessing that they are freely giving. We don't have to chase them. So, but this expression of Bhakti Vinod Thakur, very fortunate, right, that he is running behind. While some people, we are running away from spiritual life, he is running towards spiritual life. So prayer that we will have always this consciousness to run towards spiritual life in some way or another. Leela. Okay, do you know what time it is?
Yes. 11 minutes, maybe 15.
Oh, 15 more?
No, yes, you have 15 more.
Okay, cool.
We can song Nire Padakama.
You want to sing? Okay.
But you do.
You want me to? Okay. Very nice. Nitai Padakama. So now next, after Vaishnav, Guru Vaishnav, then Nityananda, because he's the gatekeeper of mercy. So, repeat it? Oh, you want me to sing? Okay. Okay. All right. And sing? Okay. All right. So now Nitai Parakamala. So you can find it on page 122. And if you have a different songbook, you can look for Nitai Parakamala. And the name of this song is actually Mana Shiksha, written by Srila Narottam Das Thakur. Okay. Nitai Parakamala Koti Chandra Sushitala Nitai Parakamala Koti Chandra Sushitala Jai Jaya Jagata Judai Jagata Judai Jai Jaya Jagata Judai Judai Heno Nitai Vine Bhai Radha Krishna Paite Nai 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 Dridha Kori Daro Nitai Pai Kori Daro Nitai Paya Dridha Kori Daro Nitai Pai Kori Daro Nitai Pai Se Sambandha Nahi Jara Brita Janma Gelo Tara Se Sambandha Nahi Jara Janma Gelo Tara Sei Pashu Bodo Dudachara Sei Pashu Bodo Dudachara Sei Pashu Bodo Dudachara Sei Pashu Bodo Dudachara Nitai na bolilo mukhe Madilo samsara sukhe 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 Vidya kule ki koribe tara Vidya kule ki koribe tara Vidya kule ki koribe tara Ahankare mata hoya nitai para pasariya. Ahankare mata hoya nitai para pasariya. Asatya re satya kori mani. Asatya re satya kori mani. Nitayer koruna habe braje Radha Krishna bhave. Nitayer koruna habe. O Nitayer koruna habe braje Radha Krishna bhave. Dharo Nitayer charan dukani. Charan dukani. O Dharo Nitayer charan dukani. Nitayer charana satyata hara seva kanitya. O Nitayer charana satyata hara seva kanitya. Nitayer charana satyata hara seva. Nitai para sara koro asha. O Nitai para sara koro asha. Narotama boro duki Nitai more koro suki. Narotama boro duki. Narotama boro duki Nitai more koro suki. Rako ranga chara nirapasha. Rako ranga chara nirapasha. Rako ranga chara nirapasha. Chara nirapasha. Dayal Nitai, Dayal Nitai, Dayal Nitai, Dayal Nitai, Dayal Nitai, Dayal Nitai, Dayal Nitai. Oh Dayal Nitai, 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 Dayal. Oh Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Srila Narottam Das Thakur ki jai. And we will close with this song, or reading the translation. So here we go, verse 1. The holy lotus feet of Nitai cooling like 10 million moons, in the shade of which the world gains soothing relief. Without that Nitai, O brother, no one can reach Radha and Krishna. Clasp his lotus feet with full conviction. One who never got his connection passed his life in vain. Such an animal is so very wicked. He whose mouth never uttered Nitai, merged in mundane pleasures, how can his aristocratic lineage save him? Maddened with pride, forgetting the lotus feet of Nitai, I embrace untruth as truth. But when Nitai gives his grace, you'll reach Radha and Krishna in Braja. Oh, embrace the lotus feet of Nitai. The lotus feet of Nitai are truth. His servitors are eternal. Ever aspire for the shelter of his feet. Narottam is very sad. Oh, Nitai, make me happy. Please keep me at your lovely lotus feet. So this is our prayer. We close with this prayer. And I hope that you all have a wonderful rest of your evening, and that you are continuing with your practice at home, wherever you are in the world. And of course, keep tuning in every week, Monday, 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. This week I'm in Los Angeles. Next week I'll be again in Santa Cruz at the Seva Ashram. And every day we have lectures and talks and live streams happening with Srila Bhaktipavan Janardhan Maharaj. But there's also many other live streams happening as well. So tune in to Bhakti Bimala Vidut Maharaj, Bhakti Kushumashram Maharaj, so many other sannyasis and devotees. You know your channels, stay connected, and let's see who is here and if there are any questions or comments before we close. Thank you all for being here. Let's see. We have... Hi, come in, Leela. Okay, so we have, Madhav, and then Arsa Cuevas. Greetings from Veracruz. Marco Bruno from Santa Cruz. Ilya Dandavat from Santa Cruz. And Hari Prasad is watching. And we have Bimala. Jai Bimala. What did Bimala say? I miss Bimala. She's been with me on Mondays when we do this live stream. It's been so nice sitting in circle in the temple room. Okay, this thing won't let me click on Bimala's comment. I really am trying, but it's not. Oh, all glories to the Vaishnavas. Hari Bol, Jai Gurudev, Jai Bimala Didi Ki Jai. And Hare Krishna Prabhu, Hare Krishna Rajbu, one Yadav Prabhu. And who else? Lay Nami Lalitak. And Ali, welcome Ali. Oh, Anu Krishna. Okay, good. Anu Krishna, Dandavat. Okay, we're saying good night. Do you want to come say? No? Okay. We all say good night live from the, this is Leela's hand, from the temple. You want to do Hari Haraya?
I can sing.
Okay. We're going to sing one more song, Hari Haraya. And I'm going to turn the camera to Mahaprabhu so you can have some darshan of the beautiful deity here. So we will close with this song. Here is the view, sun is setting, and here is the altar. Okay. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Jadavaya Namaha. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Jadavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha. Gopal Govindaram Srimad Kusudana. Giridhari Gopal
night, everybody. Dandavat pranam. See you next week. Haribol. Shri Bhakti Sundara Deva Prabhu Shiromani Goswami Govinda Jaya Anandera Kani Ajanulambita Bhuja Divya Kalida